Hey family, it's Dion Michelle with Love, Life, and the Law, or Attorney Dion Michelle Green, whatever you prefer. Wanted to talk about a subject that I got from my mom. You will hear a lot about the exceptional Miss Green. That's above me. So I would call her Miss Green if she wasn't my mom. So the exceptional Miss Green calls me a career student. Now, I can't argue with her because you all have heard this, and again, this is not bragging, but bachelor's degree, Juris Doctorate, 2 masters of legal letters, and I'm in school right now studying things that might help deal with the issues we're having in our criminal justice system. As an attorney, you have to do continuing legal education credits, so this is going to be a lifelong ordeal. But I don't know why she gives me a hard time about being a lifetime student or a career student, because she instilled it in me. I understand that school is not for everyone, and I'm very flustered about the immense amount of debt that people pick up just so that they can get a college degree, a master's, a Juris Doctorate. I have a very close friend of mine who is going through medical school, and they are going to have over probably $300,000 worth of debt just to become a doctor. And if they want to practice in the public sector or at a clinic or at an underserviced location, they could be paying that back for the rest of their lives. Y'all think about that. That is enough money where I live at to almost buy a whole city block. So I'm very disturbed about that. But I'm going to pass on a little bit of knowledge that my mother passed on to me that I think everybody should know. When I was young, probably in middle school, my first semester of school, and this wasn't just in middle school, it was grade school as well. My first mark period was always the worst, always. Bunch of C's. I never got D's and F's and stuff like that, but a bunch of C's and C minuses. And I don't know if it was that I was bored. My mother even told me one time, she came to school and the teacher was talking to her, and the teacher said, "Your daughter, she just cleans out her desk in the middle of class. I don't know what to do with her." My mother looked the teacher in the eye and said, "She's bored. Give her extra work." And maybe that's what's followed me my whole life, because in high school, my school was a trade and technical high school, and you could learn everything from how to fix a car all the way through, home ec, in addition to rigorous academic studies. So I chose the most difficult path that they had because I knew I wanted to go to college and I wanted to go to law school. And so the most difficult or the most challenging academic path they had was chemistry. So when I finished high school, I had a technical chemical degree. Now, other than understanding what a micrometer is, please don't ask me the periodic table or anything even remotely close to it, because I completely purged all of that from my memory when I decided, when I got accepted to law school. But here's what's interesting. Before I became an attorney, I was in my second year of law school. I was at a hair salon, and I saw my 3rd grade teacher, Miss Brown. I will never forget her. And Miss Brown saw me and she said, "Dion, how you doing?" And it's an incredible thing that at that point I probably had been out of her school or out of that grade for 10 years, 11 years, something like that. She said, "What are you doing? What are you doing with yourself?" I said, "Oh, Miss Brown, I'm in law school." She said, "You said you were going to be an attorney." I had no clue. I just knew that I always felt like I wanted to be either a chef or an attorney. And then I realized how much work chefs do. And sometimes they don't get paid their worth, and some attorneys don't get paid their worth as well. But I felt like I would have a better chance at a higher quality of life if I became an attorney. So I just thought it was fascinating that I said that when I was in 3rd grade, and I didn't just say it. I went out and did it. But one of the reasons that I did it was because my mother, when I was much younger, middle school, grade school, when I would be messing up my first semester, my mother came to me and said, I know you don't understand this, but if you get good grades, somebody will pay for you to go to school. I didn't understand it, but I came to understand it. And I took full advantage of that. Now, I don't want you all to think that I didn't have to take out loans. I had to take out loans to live and get an apartment and do crazy things like buy a car, which I didn't have to do, but I did anyway. But in college, after I got over the fact that I had upset my high school primary military instructor so bad that they wouldn't even agree to sign off on a scholarship for me, it was going to be to go to the Air Force anyway, so clearly God had another plan. I was in college playing soccer at a predominantly Caucasian college. We can talk about that in a different episode. And I was walking across campus trying to figure out how I was going to pay for my next 3.5+ years of school. And a gentleman walked up to me. I had never met him before. He said, I seen you around campus. You play soccer, don't you? I said, yes, sir, I do. He said, did you ever consider joining ROTC? And I just started smiling. I said, funny you should ask. And then I told him the story about not getting a scholarship. Within 3 weeks, I had taken the ASVAB, passed it, got a good score, and I had a 3.5-year scholarship to finish school. Like I said, I still, it covered, you could either do tuition or room and board. And so I chose tuition, so I still had to cover room and board. But so be it. So I did well in college. I had to go to something called advanced camp and for the military, because when you accept a scholarship, you have an obligation. So I go to advanced camp, and when I get done with advanced camp, there's a certain score you had to achieve. Now, here's the interesting thing. In order to be able to do what I wanted to do, which was become an attorney and go to law school. So you had to get either a 5, a 4, or 3 alpha in order to become an attorney. And everybody knew I wanted to go to law school. There was another young lady that was in my group that wanted to go to medical school. I had already been accepted to law school. And if I would not have gotten a 3 alpha, the Army could have told me, no, you can't go. You got to go straight to the Army. But thank God I did well enough at camp that I got a 3 alpha. I took an educational delay to go to law school, and I got a full academic scholarship to go to law school. Again, I had no clue they even gave those out. But because my mother set me on the right path, told me that if you do well, you get good grades, you do well, somebody will pay for you to go to law school. They'll pay for you to go to school. So after I finished law school, I got accepted into the Judge Advocate General's Corps. It is not automatic. You had to apply to become a military attorney even after you had your law degree or had finished law school. So I got accepted into the Judge Advocate General's Corps. And as part of our training, if you stay in the Judge Advocate General's Corps for a certain amount of time, they pay for you to go to school so that you can get a Master's of Legal Letters. I chose, when I did that, to get my Master's of Legal Letters in, you have to do it in military law, but then I got an emphasis in criminal law. And they paid for me to go to the University of Charlottesville to take advanced criminal law classes so I could have an emphasis in criminal law on that degree. When I finished that degree, as part of our program in the JAG Corps, I was sworn in and vouched for by the Judge Advocate General of the Army so that I could practice in front of the United States Supreme Court. Many people don't know that that's not an automatic thing. You have to actually petition in order to be accepted to practice in front of the United States Supreme Court. But because I was in the Judge Advocate General's Corps, they vouched for us, served as a surety, signed off on it, and I actually got sworn in front of the Supreme Court justices. So then after that, I knew that there was a program in the Army military that allowed you to go and get another advanced degree if you're selected. I was a little concerned that if I specialized in something that maybe I wouldn't get promoted to the grade that I aspired to, which was Lieutenant Colonel. As strangely enough, the way that God does it, I applied for the program. On a Thursday, I found out that I had been accepted into the Masters of Legal Letters program. That following Tuesday, I found out I had been selected for a promotion. It was one of the best weeks of my life in my military career. So, wise Mama Green told her daughter that if you study hard and do well. Someone will pay for you to go to school. Someone will pay for your education. I took advantage at every step. I owed time, and I served that time, and I'm very proud of the time that I served. But I wouldn't trade the education that I've received. It has helped shape me into who I am as a woman, as a citizen, as a service member, as a daughter, as a friend, as a mentor, as a business person. It all shaped me. And I thank God for every step in that process. So, what are you teaching your children? Are you teaching them that they should just worry about learning all the rap lyrics they can learn or every country song that they can sing? Is it just about having fun? And this doesn't matter what your economic background is. There are a lot of very well-to-do young adults who have no clue what they're going to do in their lives. Teach your children. Encourage them to be great, academically and athletically. Everyone's not meant to go to school, but if that's something you aspire to, let somebody else pay for it until this country can figure out how they're going to pay for it for everyone so that we can be better. You wonder why other countries are passing us up. Part of that is because you have to give up your firstborn child almost in order to be able to go to school. Figure it out. We should be better than this so we can be better than this. Well, y'all know what I say. I know a lot about a little and a little about a lot. But one thing I do know is you got to keep God up top. He was my guiding light the whole time. Takes care of babes and fools. I wasn't a babe. I thank him for giving me a great mother and great mentors and for allowing me to do the things I've done. It's Attorney Dion Michelle Green for Love, Life, and the Law. Ciao.